Welcome everybody to GoLocal Live. I'm Josh Fenton, CEO and co-founder. It's a big morning here in Rhode Island. The new real estate numbers are out, and we've got Marion from Mott Chace. She's got all the information that anybody who's buying or selling needs to know. Kim, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Josh. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, let's go over the numbers. The numbers just came out, hot off the presses, as they used to say. Now we say brand new hot pixels or something like that in the digital world. Let's see, the median household price for a single family home is $375,000 in Rhode Island. That is up 16.8% over last November, November of 2020. We thought because of the pandemic, nothing would ever get higher. We're up 16.8%. What's your thoughts? Does this train ever slow down?
It's a great question. You know, it's fascinating working in this industry, and I know that you're so into the real estate numbers. I feel bad in a way for buyers because it just keeps getting harder and harder to buy. You know, December of this year is the busiest December since 2006. And I don't see it slowing down. Less buyers on the streets, but the ones that are out there are serious. I think we talked a little bit about that last time. It makes me wonder where we're going, right? So what is first quarter of 2022 going to look like? And I don't have a crystal ball, but I have some thoughts about that.
Yeah, please. I mean, these new November numbers, just to add a little more perspective, the number of properties sold was only 1,012. That was down 8%. So is December going to be even tighter than November was? And is the first quarter, you're the expert, is the first quarter going to be even trickier?
It looks like December is going to be tight. We have still this extreme shortage of houses in the city. We're looking at a couple of days on the market still. Most areas are busy with buyers. They mean business. They're still bidding. It's not a big line out the door, but December's going to be tight. And instead of most people sitting in front of the tree with their eggnog, a lot of people are holiday house shopping. I think when we start to get into the spring, it's looking like we're going to maintain a lower than normal inventory. The question is, what is going to happen with COVID? It's such a strange thing to think about how a pandemic ends up making the market busier. And you would think the opposite. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
Listen, I'm always amazed each month and what this has transpired over these past now. You know, we started reporting on the pandemic in January of 2020. So we're coming up on 2 full years. I'm just amazed at what's taken place. The other number that was amazing was 24% of the deals in November included somebody out of state, which tells me, listen, we're a hot market here in Rhode Island, which is great for the tourism councils and the videos to promote Rhode Island, but it's not so great if you live in Rhode Island and you're trying to, you know, buy your first house or move up to your second house type of situation. You're not only competing with, you know, the people down the street, but you're competing with people from New Jersey and New York and Connecticut and all over the place.
Yeah, it's challenging. This just happened. I had a client we've bid on 4 houses, and 3 of the 4 were out-of-state people, and we're talking Portsmouth, Middletown, so close to Newport. Maybe that's not that surprising, but in the city, big influx of folks from New York and Boston. It's even when I say how expensive it is to buy, when you compare it to New York or Boston or in some parts of Connecticut, we're a bargain. We're a bargain in the city.
So walk us through this first quarter.
Yeah, so I was thinking that inventory is still going to remain low, and that is almost certainly true, even if COVID stays the same or our situation improves. Inventory is just, people are staying put. A lot of people are worried about, I would love to sell in the highest market in our history, last 40 years anyway, but I don't know where I'm going to go. So that's really holding people in their house. I still say if you are thinking about selling, you want to do it before 2024. National Association of Realtors was just saying that we are at a very high peak with values. I just read that they may go up another 5 to 6%, which is different than what I read last month. So I feel like, the ball is a bouncing ball. But by 2024, I read that we're going to be at a solid value and there won't be continuing to rise. That brings me into interest rates. And again, we would expect interest rates to go up in a better economy. So it's highly likely that we're going to have decent interest rates for 2022. The experts are saying that. By 2024, I would think we would have an increase in interest rates that would start happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think you're going to see the Fed's supposed to make an announcement today on on whether or not they're going to continue to be buying bonds. That may start the proverbial dominoes to fall to increase interest rates in early 2022, and also the factor of just straight up inflation. But we're outstripping. I mean, inflation 6.8%. Real estate's outstripping inflation.
Oh yeah.
You look at those November numbers, 16.8%, but so more than 2 times what inflation is moving at. Talk about the buyer for first quarter. Listen, I've been waiting for 2 years during the pandemic. My family is busting at the seams. We can't put any more kids in that bedroom type of situation. We are out of space. What do we do?
Well, now is a great time. If you're a buyer and you're in that position, now is a great time to get out and try to find a property as soon as it comes on the market. Work with an agent that can keep an eye out and set up a search for you. So the day that a property goes into the MLS, you'll get an email that says this property just came on the market. And I say now because right now, while we still have a shortage of inventory, we have less people out on the street looking. They're out there, they're buying, but if you don't have to compete against 15 people, you're only competing against 5 or 6. That's a better opportunity for you. And you reminded me of something. It's not just single family homes. It's the condos in the city and the condos in Kingston. They are also coming on the market and going in a minute. At the beginning of the pandemic, there was a big stall. Obviously, people were really concerned about being in close quarters and living in a condo situation. But now that we feel we have some kind of a handle on at least understanding how to protect ourselves, and so many people in Rhode Island are vaccinated, condos are not lasting on the market either. They're coming on and going in a couple of days, or even, maybe a couple of weeks. It's a little bit of it's a different purchase. It's a different buyer, but the prices have increased and they're coming on and off the market too. There could be, for buyers, the houses that I'm seeing on the market lasting a little longer need work. So maybe you can get a slightly better price and have less competition and look for not a complete fixer-upper from the ground up, but something that needs a new kitchen and a new bath. You can live with that, and then over time get those fixes done. It's so hard to be a buyer. Make sure you're pre-approved. Don't start shopping and fall in love without that pre-approval, because the property moves fast. Can't submit an offer without a pre-approval or a proof of funds.
Yeah, it's crazy competitive right now. Kim, last week you had a Facebook post. Hey, I've got 2 new properties coming on the market. Is that literally, think about the transformation of selling real estate. It is there's so much demand that you're trying to flag to people. Hey, I've got the beat on a couple of properties. What did those properties come to fruition, and has anything happened with them?
First of all, thank you for following my social. Second of all, I am putting the word out there to get it out early. I'm not allowed to say what they are or where they are. One's single family, one's a high-rise condo. That's all I can say. I did have a few people message me and say, what do you have? What's coming on? Give me the scoop. I have buyers, and I had to give them an idea of the town and let them know as soon as it comes on, then I can give them the scoop. I can't show it until then. But I did, it's interesting, get a few calls from agents. I didn't get any calls from just the general population that saw it or any messages, but a few agents said, oh my gosh, I have buyers, is it in this town or is it in that town? And when can we get in? When will it go live? What's the price range? Agents are really trying to help their buyers.
Yeah, well, I'm just an average Joe, and I was wildly intrigued. So, so let us know on Facebook whenever you can, if that's appropriate. Is that really though? That's the transformation, right? That's the morphing of the last 2 years. Is that literally, there's a famous story that there was so much demand for Boston Celtics season tickets that people used to check the obituary pages to see when some longtime season ticket holder passed away, and then would contact the family to see if they'd be willing to sell their season tickets. Are we almost to that point with real estate? I mean, I know it's dark in humor, but it is, the demand is so high.
That is actually something that I have heard, and it sounds morbid. If a property is coming on the market and it's not with a will and trust attorney, it is something I have heard other agents have done. I mean, I have not done that. I'm fortunate to say I'm busy and I don't even really know how to finish that sentence. I have not done that, but it's something I have heard. And we are in that place because people really want a home. And, I've got a little family there. The wife is pregnant and they just want to be settled in the next 6 months. So they're not renting month to month, trying to set up a nursery. I mean, you know what it's like. You've got a family, so. Yeah.
Do you expect to see, we saw this crazy year. People are talking about the spring maybe being an absolute, crazy period. All these people are still stacked up with demand. The pandemic sort of rearing its head, of course, once again. Interest rates may stay low through the first quarter. The spring could be the biggest blockbuster of all time, couldn't it?
It absolutely could be the biggest blockbuster of all time. And I'm almost afraid because right now, I know I can speak for myself. I'm really working 7 days a week, and it's great and it's exciting, and I'm really helping people find properties and helping people sell, but it's a lot. And so the spring could be, if the pandemic remains sort of in control and people feel a little bit of confidence, and if they start to understand, if they read the reports as I do, and I know you do, and they see that we're topping out, and price-wise, we're topping out, and they really should get on board. So they're not, a year and a half from now saying, why the heck did I not sell my house? Now I'm $150,000, and that's a real number. I'm $150,000, back where I could have been. So if people read the reports and the pandemic stays manageable, I do think interest rates are going to stay manageable. It could be an absolutely insane, crazy spring, but also a lot of opportunity for people who have been waiting to buy, to really find their place. And we want that.
Kim Marion, as always, thank you so much. We'll have all the data up. We'll have this interview with Kim Marion up later today. We'll have all the details and all the links for all the information you need to find out. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, as always, and for Kim Marion and all her expertise. It is always great to chat with you. Everybody stay safe. If you haven't gotten a booster shot, please do so. It is time to get boosted if you've gotten your 2 shots longer than at the beginning of June. So be healthy, be safe, and have a great holiday. Thanks, everyone.